What's good, YouTubers and YouTubettes? This is JBsports back again with another one. Al Heyman and the PBC, they ain't messing around, man. They ain't playing. Coming out with a stacked card, as I let you guys know last night, man, when I revealed that Devontae Tank Davis will take on Leo Santa Cruz in a pay-per-view matchup on October 24. The rest of the card has been announced today. And one of the fights that I'm really looking forward to, one of the cards I'm really looking forward to is the Jermell Jermall Charlo pay-per-view doubleheader. It's going to take place September 26th at the same location, the Mohegan Sun in Uncasville, Connecticut. Jermell Charlo will take on Jason Rosario in a junior middleweight unification matchup. That's going to be the main event number 2. Main event number 1 will be his brother, Jermall Charlo, taking on Sergey Derevyanchenko. As you know, I was the first channel to reveal that Jermell Charlo and Jason Rosario was in the works. But little did I know that he was going to team up with his brother to do a pay-per-view double on Showtime. And Jermall Charlo will take care of his mandatory versus Sergey Derevyanchenko. This is going to be a great double main event. And I've heard that the undercard is going to be stacked too. They've named some fighters that's going to be on the undercard, and I'll reveal that later. But this double main event is going to be unbelievable. 2 brothers fighting at the top of their game. Now, the only caveat I'll say is the last time these guys were on the same card, it was they got mixed results. As Jermell Charlo was upset by Tony Harrison in the co-main event, and his brother, came into the main event, upset that his twin sibling had lost, and I think that affected his performance against Matt Korobov as he struggled early on in that fight until he took over in the second half of that fight to get a decision win. Now they're going to be on the same card, and it could happen again if Jermell Charlo is upset by Jason Rosario. Will that have the same profound effect on his brother Jermall Charlo in the main event against Sergey Derevyanchenko, main event number 1. It's 2 main events. Main event number 2, Jermell Charlo versus Jason Rosario, which to me should be the main event number 1. This fight is the most significant fight in my opinion because you got 2 champions fighting. You got the WBC champion, Jason Rosario, facing, the WBC champion, Jermell Charlo, facing the WBA and IBF champion in Jason Rosario, who he's got 2 belts versus 1 belt. So that's a unification fight. The winner of that will have 3 belts, 3 of the 4 major belts in the junior middleweight division. And Jermall Charlo is simply taking advantage of his mandatory before his call facing Sergey Derevyanchenko. Now, Sergey Derevyanchenko has been in 2 high-profile fights. Last seen in the ring versus Triple G in a fight many people thought he won. And that fight took place in Madison Square Garden in New York on the Zone. And he was didn't get the decision win, but actually even in defeat gained something after that fight, as a lot of people thought he won, and his name got bigger after that controversial decision loss to Triple G. Before that, he fought a split decision loss to Daniel Jacobs, where he put on a good performance against Daniel. Daniel was able to get the split decision win, so that's another fight that he lost, and some people thought he won that fight. It was a very close fight. I actually thought Daniel Jacobs won that fight 7 rounds to 5, 115, 113, but it was a lot of very close competitive rounds that could have went to Derevyanchenko way, as one of the 3 judges did see it that way and gave the decision to him, but the other 2 gave it to Daniel Jacobs. Therefore, he was able to get the split decision victory over Sergey Derevyanchenko. But I'm so excited about this card. The only thing I wonder about is the price. During these COVID-19 times, man, they need to be responsible with these prices. Can't be charging no $100, stuff like that, man. They need to be bringing these prices down. I think a good price would be $50, $49.99. I suspect that the price is going to be around $79.99. If I had to just bet what the price is going to be, I would bet that it'll be $79.99. But nevertheless, this is going to be a great card. People can't complain about this. You got the Jermell Charlo main event double going down September 26th at the Mohegan Sun. That's the new bubble for the PBC and Al Heyman. It's going down, man. I'm excited about this fight, man, especially the Rosario Charlo fight, man. That's going to be actually the main event number 2 And main event number 1 is Jermall Charlo versus Sergey Derevyanchenko. Now they haven't officially announced which fight is going to be the main event, which fight's going to be last on the card out of those two. But you know, I suspect that Jermall Charlo versus Sergey Derevyanchenko, those guys have a little bit bigger name than Rosario. Jermell has a real big name, a huge following. He actually has a larger Twitter following than his brother Jermall. But Jermall and Sergey combined are a little bit bigger names than Jermell and Rosario combined. Even though to me that's the most significant fight, because you got a unification fight as Rosario putting two of his titles, two of his belts on the line, versus Jermell putting the one belt on the line, and the winner of that fight having 3 of the 4 major belts. So let me know what you think in the comment section, man. I broke the fight down in the last video, and you can check those video out of the Jason Rosario versus Jermell Charlo when the fight was in the works. I broke that fight down, and I broke down the Sergey Derevyanchenko versus Jermall Charlo fight when I announced that about a week and a half ago. So you can check those video out if you want to know my prediction of those 2 fights. It's just I didn't think those 2 fights were going to be on the same card. That's why I'm announcing on my video about this huge, monstrous pay-per-view double-double going down. Nobody saw this coming. This came out of left field, man. We thought these guys were going to be in separate cards. Last thing I heard was Jermell Charlo versus Jason Rosario that was in the works. It was going to be on regular Fox. And I heard that Jermall versus Sergey Derevyanchenko was going to be on Showtime. But here it is. They're going to put both of these guys on the same card in a stacked undercard that support these 2 major fights. And they're putting it on pay-per-view, Showtime pay-per-view, live from Uncasville, Connecticut. Mohegan Sun is going down. The bubble for the PBC and Al Heyman. Let me know what you think about this card. Let me know what you think should be the price. And let me know what you think it's going to go down like it did the last time the brothers fought on the same card when we had mixed results, when Jermell Charlo was upset again by Tony Harrison, and it affected his twin brother as he came out very lackluster, as he was emotional because his brother had lost, and it took him a while to get his engine revved up and his engine going, and he fell behind, but he was able to rally in the second half of that fight to get a decision win in a fight that some people thought he lost too. They thought both Charlo brothers lost. They thought he shouldn't have got the decision. A lot of people said that Jermell should have got the decision over Tony Harrison, and Jermall should have lost to Matt Carabar. That's what a lot of people was saying. But it turned out to be a different result, as Jermell lost to Tony Harrison and Jermall beat Matt Carabar. Both of those fights were very close, very competitive. It was a lot of swing rounds. And it left mixed results, man, and it was just a difficult time. And a lot of people speculated after that fight that don't put those brothers on the same card, man, because it's just they're too close. They're very close brothers as they're twins. They're very, very close, and don't put them guys on the same card, because if one of those guys lose, it would have an adverse effect on the other brother. But they're doing it again, man. They're doing it again. This lets you know, man, we're doing these pandemic times, man. They're all about the best fighting the best. Al Heyman and them are not playing. They seen what top rank cards produce. They produced some low TV numbers, but they were the first out the block to give us boxing, and I salute them for that. They see the card that Eddie Hearn and Matchroom Boxing is putting on live from his backyard, and those cards featuring Egg and Cheese, Sam Egerton versus Tom Cheeseman. You can go get breakfast with them 2 guys fighting. And those cards are very low level in my opinion. Outside of Dillian White versus Alexander Povetkin, which is a good heavyweight matchup, that whole matchroom fight camp leaves a lot to be desired. But here it is, Al Heyman and the PBC has knocked it out the park, man, with this card here. And y'all need to go on PBC.com website and see the other cards, man. They've got some good matchups. Donaire versus Uban. They got Erickson Lubin versus Terrell Gasha. That's going to be a good fight for Erickson Lubin in his career, man. And he is trying to make his way back from that devastating first-round knockout at the hands of Jermell Charlo. He's working his way out, working his way back up from that fight. A lot of people thought Erickson Lubin was ready for that particular fight, but it turned out that it was a little bit too much too soon, and he was knocked out in the first round. But he has built himself back up, and now he's taking his skills to a matchup with Terrell Gasha, a good proper matchup for this point of Erickson Lubin's career. A guy that's not an elite fighter, but a guy that's a very solid top 5, top 7 middleweight contender, and a guy that's going to let we know where Erickson Lubin's at as far as getting to that level that's a little bit below the level that you was on when you fought Jermell Charlo and you weren't quite ready for it at that young of age when you was knocked out in the first round. So that's going to be a good, what you call, I ain't going to say a step-up fight, but a good fight against a top-level middleweight contender, junior middleweight contender in Derevyanchenko. Last seen having a draw against Austin Trout last year in the fight. I thought he actually won, man, but he got a draw. He was upset about that fight. Haven't fought since then. So it's been over a year since that matchup took place. But Gasha is a solid middleweight contender, a guy that you're gonna have to be on top of your game to beat. If you're not on top of your game, he's a guy that can give you a lot of problems, man. He's a guy that can make you look bad. So that's a good measuring point for Erickson Lubas at this point of his career as he makes his way back to title contention. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what transpires. But let me know what you think in the comment section about Jermell Charlo versus Jason Rosario and Jermall Charlo versus Sergey Derevyanchenko in a double main event on Showtime pay-per-view. Let me know what you think about that card, man, and what you think the price should be for that pay-per-view card. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Subscribe to JB Sports, the man, the myth, the legend. I'll holla.